to have played in the league, and now 2025 Split 1, they're playing in a grand final again.
Oh, I can't wait. Flandre in his first since 2020. That's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's so crazy. We get the first pick of the Jayce here. Let's talk a little bit about what we're looking at in terms of those draft prios as we get neck deep into it. The Leona and the Nidalee picked here.
Wow.
They're coming out hot here, dude. Rude.
Instantly, right? You're taking like really big denial picks. Jayce from Flandre. Tarzan takes the Nidalee away from Kanavi. Already as well, looking at that ban, the Kai'Sa ban away from Hope. Very rarely do you see blue side Kai'Sa bans, or Kai'Sa bans in general, and the Yone stale away as well. These guys have like prepped a draft. We're going in, we're flying hot and heavy. But the Yone was a pick that we were expecting as well. Hotly contested. This is full fearless. One person gets to play it for one game, and Shanks has snapped it up.
Hame and Tabe have come to play for this grand final, and already looking at these team compositions, I like what AL have brought to them. I think that being able to pair the Nidalee with the Yone is really, really great at finding this backline, but TES already with a kind of a composition that can both play at range, but also find those dives. I think Ahri Vi, one of our most potent duos when we talk about it, and especially for someone like Kanavi, giving him the tools to be able to engage, have been so important in seeing his glow up so far in 2025.
Exactly that. I think also the mobility and things that you get with the Ahri into the Yone matchup is huge. You have to think back though. I mean, not only has Yone been a little bit of an easy win con for so many teams in the LPL, Shanks literally went Super Saiyan the last time he picked it. So I'm very excited for that one. We also get a continuation of the band's bot lane focus here between the two of them. We get the Ashe band, the Rakan, as well as the Varus and the Corki band out.
Ooh, Corki is such a big one, especially taking that away from Hope. He was one of the first people this year to kind of bring it out in Demacia Cup, so exciting to see what skirmishing AD carries are going to go for. You still have a couple of different choices when we talk about AD carries, but I'm worried about this hover ban.
Oh,
yeah, Xayah is possible.
Whenever I see Vi, I just immediately knee-jerk to Xayah and think, okay, well, it's got to go there. But Jhin getting picked up as well. One of those other answers where you just play at such large range that the Vi and the Ahri have pressed so much to try and get to you in the first place, and that it's genuinely a struggle. But for AL, this is already a little bit of a take on a dive composition as well, right? They've got Leona and Nidalee. They've got the Yone as well to go deep to try and take down whatever AD carry top esports do lock in for JackeyLove. And the Jhin is going to facilitate that as well. Curtain call over the top, deadly flourishes, add to the dive pressure, and add to that backline threat.
I mean, what engage support is Chris going to be picking up here? Because we have like Rel, you still have the Braum to be able to play into it if you really want the lane matchup, but I'm just worried here and kind of confused, honestly. Like, we've saved this for Flandre on R5, maybe to see a little bit more of the composition, but we saw both of the solos here from TES, so unless Flandre's coming up with something that we haven't seen so far in the tournament, I think that this might have been a little bit of a waste in terms of what we could have seen from AL.
They're cooking a little too much, you say.
Yeah, maybe they're expecting that the Jhin gets taken away, right, to add on to that dive, so they steal it away themselves, which not unprecedented as a theory, but I like the Poppy coming in here. We talked about the dive that this AL composition has. They've got an option now to try and pivot into a more poke-orient composition. Again, Jhin, Nidalee, you can try and do that, but instead they just double down, all in with a Wukong top, one of the fabled answers to that top lane range matchup.
That's crazy.
And it's great setup, right? Where we wanted to see a little bit more of the damage to be able to kind of bring parts of this composition together with the Nidalee and with the Jhin. Now it feels like while AL are very squishy, I think their ability to turn off of an objective is going to be really key. So I want to see how AL are going to be able to take control of space when we get to team fights.
I think my main concern is going to be how well JackeyLove can actually channel ults. I'm looking at the setup for it. Unless it's on an individual target, there's not a lot really to get those massive wombo combos with the bullet time. So Poppy, it's got great positioning and great power versus the team it's going to be playing against and what AL have drafted, but I'm not sure if it's placed with the MF.
It's going to be a tight one. We'll get back into the compositional talk in just a minute. We got to talk about our predictions here as well. No 3-0s here today, gentlemen, as we will be seeing at least 4 games. I love that Discord is right there with the majority of us. AL having a little bit more backing here as we get into it.
I know this is like kind of, oh yeah, we have some people going for the 3-1s. I have not really backed AL all season long. I didn't think they would win Demacia
until today.
I didn't think that they would make it here to the grand finals in this form anyway, at least from the upper bracket. So I feel like I have to do justice. I have to do the turn. I have to go for these guys.
I love to see it. I love to hear it. And I love that we have made it to our first grand finals of the year. The fact that we have 3 of these now, and now with a beautiful new trophy. Somebody has to come away with a win today. Will it be AL's first championship as an organization, or will Top Esports regain dominance in the history of LPL? Game 1 of this best of 5 kicks off now.
Oh my
Love
god.
to hear it. Man, everybody's
Just
out in force.
all the fans. We knew this was what's going to happen during grand finals, and I'm glad that it's delivering for the fans so far.
And I think as well, the fact that we're in those grand finals, you get the loudest Gyos that we've probably had so far this split, but also the walkouts from AL. Let's not just brush those aside. Flandre with the killer open.
Yeah, we had a lot of nice guys walking out, all right? But then Flandre had to one-up everybody. You know the guy's always got to have some entertainment factor there to him. And honestly, he's been hella entertaining to watch this year so far. I mean, not only his draft pick, but the way he's been playing as well. He's been such a key addition to the Anyone's Legend team. And that's where kind of that addition is important to talk about, because the bottom trio was the same this year that it was last year, and some of those middling successes we saw there. But the fact they brought in Tarzan and Flandre, it's made things go so well. Important to talk about as we see Kanavi get pressed out of his jungle here in Dobsa.
Yeah, I don't imagine it's going to start too much of the issue, but it definitely is going to at least give information as to where TS's jungle is starting.
And getting rid of as well, like just an extra camp that you expect Tarzan to be able to take. The whole reason that you're doing this is because we split the map. The expectation is that jungles are going to take the sides that their bot lanes are on, but actually Tarzan is going to steal his entire bot side and then probably move up into that top side. May well come away with that farm advantage and just a small early game advantage going over to your jungler, especially when you've got players like Kanavi, like Tarzan. They can snowball very quickly.
Ooh, look at what 369 is doing. They're getting information. Now, the bottom lane of AL is here. Not the bottom. You already see that Kael's moving.
So a little bit of trade season. Who's getting pushed out of their jungle? Kanavi will come over here in the invade, and you have a lot of members of Top Esports surrounding and pressuring the spot side of the map. Kael coming out now. Spear. Oh, it's going to be taken by Kanavi. Tarzan not coming up with it early.
That's a
Smite
huge
was on the
win
wrong
for
key.
TS. Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Are we already starting this? 2.5 minutes in, we're getting jungle diff? Is that what's happening?
Well, I know Tarzan flashed and he didn't smite, and it's obviously he was flashing to smite, but Kanavi's there fast enough, ready enough to make it work, and it ends up making Shanks looking like he's taking some rough trades too.
Ooh. Okay, this is what I was wondering when we saw the lane swap, was how the Wukong was going to be able to operate, and oh no, we're already getting an instant replay of this one. 500 HP plus the spear landing, and
Come on.
Just one way to start this. Now, I will say, Tarzan historically in finals has had some trouble being able to crest the hump there.
Hey, no naysaying my king over here.
Look,
all right?
you got multiple. He's
You
got
might
multiple
have
games.
right. You might be right, but I'm not here for that slander. We'll see if you can make up for it.
As well, pointing out Tarzan is going to be really important for this series because the other part of this AL roster that got changed. You mentioned the 3 people in the bot side were the same. Flandre got brought into the top lane and Tarzan got brought into that jungle, and he has revolutionized how this team is playing, even through Demacia Cup, the Zac highlights that we got to see in the pre-show, for example. He's just dominating every jungler that he goes against and is the reason his team is winning games.
He's a very control-heavy jungler when he is able to take a lot of successes, and for me, it's also the way. Okay, well, we get to see Flandre get a little bit pushed on into the wall. No, backwards. That's gonna be the double flash. They're gonna be utilized.
Okay. My worry here now is I'm looking at the map and how these first 4 minutes have come out. I think TS are at a really breakneck pace. Unless this bot lane dive works for AL, I think they're in a huge spot to win.
That's a nice spear combo there, and the claws will sink, but the burn isn't going to be enough. One more auto attack will get hope. That first kill for AL.
Really nice pickup on that bot side. First kill going over. Now Flandre in trouble.
Oh, that steadfast presence going to lock you down, keep you down. Chris gets the response from Top Esports.
Not what they would have wanted, but I think more importantly, getting plates and continuing some of this jungle domination from Kanavi. While it is a trade on both of the side lanes here, I think the fact that Kanavi has been able to now almost essentially play on 3 quadrants from the jungle is such an important part of TES's victory. And minorly, I did want to bring up that Creme so far has done a very good job being able to hold Shanks underneath this turret with this Ahri.
Yeah, and I think that's the power that this melee versus ranged will give to Creme. And honestly, coming into this series, Creme was one of those players that had like small question marks and reservations around if he was going to be able to perform at a grand finals level. So far through this laning phase, certainly has been there. Want to quickly address as well just where those kills went. Yes, it was a 1-for-1 in the split, but the fact that the kill goes to Hope versus Crisp as well, that little bit of gold and the early Swifties, especially in a lane swap meta, when moving around the map is so prevalent, getting that little bit of extra injection onto Hope is going to go well.
Rude enabling me to talk good about Jhin. Oh my God, I'm happy here. Can we
Wasn't gonna be
invite
me.
you on a TriCast more often? All right. But it is important to think about what the early pressure that a Jhin can provide to the team, especially a team that's looking for those kind of CC chains for AL, because they always have that win condition to Yone.
Yeah, that is true. They have big wombo, I think, right? We were already talking about it for TES, where they can kind of swap in between these forms of playing at the range, utilizing the Vi and this Jayce. But Tarzan's in the area, but it's already an early grub start here.
That's a really nice denial from Chris from that initial engage. One of the Grubs already gone. Maybe the re-engage onto the fight. Chris, he's locked down. He's going to be completely locked out of the fight as well. Now Hope looking for one more shot, and he gets his second kill of the game. We talk about legacy. We talk about these ADCs, and Hope is off to the races now as Kanavi was able to secure that second Grub. Not able to get the third as Tarzan comes and takes that one away. Shanks took it all in onto Creme. Nothing else going to come of it.
And the broadcast as a whole has been very positive on Kael. That is an exact reason for why he's adapted his laning already. Instead of going with the Zenith play to open up, Q flashes immediately on top of Crisp so that he can't call the stop.
What?
Wow!
Oh, he wants it! The play! Oh! Deadly Flourish! The cleanse! It is so close, but JackeyLove skirts by.
Oh my God, those are the 2 AD carries already going at it. Kanavi?
Oh my God,
Flandre.
we've got fights all over the place. Flandre is trying to take down 369 in his own solo bolo. One more snack of the stick, and it's not a solo because he got help, but that's still a kill in the 1v1. And now Kanavi taking the engage onto Kael. We have decided it is just fight city now as Tarzan goes in. Big steadfast presence there as they are trying to block as much damage. Shanks missing with that fade sealed, and now AL are starting to lose some bodies, but Creme doesn't have the damage just yet. You have to remember, we are just at low levels here with no items completed, and it is chaos 8 minutes in.
It is blinking low health bars for AL, but so far it's going pretty well, not losing anybody after Shanks misses that ulti and that Creme can't quite find the resets to take over the fight.
Oh my God, Chris. All right, so he dodges out of everything except for the Zenith blade. That's the most important one. Now Kanavi has come over here to try to get him out. Saving Private Ryan might just lead to Ryan dying. And there Tarzan claims the kill as well. One more spear maybe to follow this one up with the CC chain of Kael, the deadly flares. There's that setup we were talking about. Hope 3-0-2, 8.5 minutes in. It's a Jhin's world, and we're all just living in it. As another spear connects, the man cannot miss. And AL are taking top esports to tag.
What is going on in this game? I feel like, you know, we started off kind of normal. There was a little bit of invades for jungle information. We had some normal trading. And the last minute and a half has just been non-stop fighting. Remember, this started with Hope and top lane, all of them fighting for the Grubs. And then this bottom lane fight between our 2 top laners. I mean, this is really smart by Flandre, having the minions going down. Like, he's right on the verge of hitting level 6. He's able to grab it here. But then this next fight, we're walking into Dragon with no Leona ult. There is no possibility for, you know, Nidalee either to really do all that much in close combat. I think this is a really tough ask, and the fact that AL eventually come out on top of that speaks a little bit to TES overextending.
Oh, and the synergy miss there between Flandre and Crisp as he shoves the Orb of Deception to go wide. A great little clone as well from Flandre, keeps himself alive. And with AL starting to come out of the gates now just that little bit better, let's look again at where the gold has fallen. It's into Hope's back pocket as Shanks now the target.
But yet again, we fight. We continue to find catches from Shanks. Gonna try to get his way out of that one. Cease and desist locks him down. He's unfortunately just gonna prolong his death. He's going for the Fade Sealed combo back to get some healing. But he eventually goes down, and that's a big TP in the flank for Flandre. They get a nice double cyclone. Steadfast Presence keeps Kael away, but Flandre still gets the kill. Deadly Flourish not gonna be there, but he opens up anyways, and it's Kael coming away with the kills. AL seem to do nothing wrong.
Yeah, even though the steadfast presence comes down, it's more so just to apply the momentary root, and then it just opens up for AL for more kills. I thought maybe they would have tried to over-index for this dragon, but with Tarzan having to clear the top wave, this has been kind of an all-over-the-map game right now. There's a lot of focus on fighting, and for the time being, it seems like AL are coming out on top. And we gotta take a look at this. This was very close, because Shanks was literally 3 seconds away from his ultimate coming back up, but I think the layering of CC from TS was just a little too much.
Yeah, if he can bide his time just a little bit longer, like if he doesn't press E there, you can make the argument that he can get out with his ulti, but instead AL decide to pull the trigger. They go for a fight off the back of this. And going into this at what is effectively a 2 versus 3, they know that Jhin's coming down, so they've got that range once again. Curtain Call able to find just enough damage, and somehow Kael snipes it away. But wait, 10 kills in 10 minutes, folks. This is what we came for, some action in the early game.
This is grand finals, baby. You know what's on the line here. That beautiful new trophy that one of these players is 100% going to break. We are looking at the split of the objectives now as well. The next set of Grubs going to be taken at least primarily by Top Esports, and the Dragon is the trade for anyone's legend.
And I think that's going to be very important. When we look at these Grubs right here, you look at what this team composition from TS is going to be able to do once we get later into the game. You have a Jayce who's going to be a very, very strong side laner, and Ahri is a champion that should not be able to be touched, especially when she has her ultimate. I mean, we're talking about having stuff like the Malignance. Having that ultimate allows you to be so slippery in a side lane and then come right into a team fight 45 seconds later, and you're all good to go.
We are going to get some setup on the map as well now. We are getting first items for the carries at least. You're getting closer at least to the second item for Hope, but I love so much focus being on Hope early. Even if it's a Jhin game #1, like this matchup coming into the day for me was the underrated versus the showstopper. Everybody knows JackeyLove on one hand of things. Everybody knows the legacy that he has, but nobody has seen how hard Hope has worked to make it back to this point.
It was in that 2020 roster, right?
Like the 2022, sure. I mean, he's like the most valued player, the most influential player by Weibo in 2024, and then you've got Hope on the flip side, who's now 3-0-3 in this game. And I think that both these AD carries are actually going to have a real tough time in this game. I'm looking at them and what they do late game. We will all know Jhin and MF late game, we're struggling, right? Like Jhin, you can argue hyper late game, it's okay. But they're going to have to put some real emphasis in this early game, and Hope especially, to try and snowball this advantage. Statics you've already finished, so the wave player's now there as well.
I think that was also why I said from the draft, like, this is why I just don't like this TS draft. Every Misfortune game so far has just felt like we are taking agency away from our AD carries, and that's not what we wanted to see coming into this series. So hopefully we get those kind of big pop-off plays between these two, and so far it seems like Hope is in a much stronger position to do so.
So then if we're talking about matchups and things that we want to focus on, I got to talk a little bit more about this top lane matchup a little bit, because 369 on one hand, he's 1-3 on the Jayce. We have the 2-1 Flandre on the Wukong. First dibs on the setup for this game #1. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, I think that the Jayce obviously got counterpicked and has struggled because of it, right? Like, we've seen Flandre already solo kill him. Yes, there was a level 6 timer involved, but the Wukong is specifically built to take down the Jayce. And now AL stepping forward.
Oh, Chris might just be completely caught out. You have to watch out with how much CC comes down. Now JackeyLove, he's on a weird side of this fight. He might be in some trouble as now the curtain call comes open from Hope. They're going to back them off of this fight. They do take the 1 kill and back away from it. AL trying to utilize some of their poke, but now they can just take a re-engage. JackeyLove maybe getting caught from the rest of the team. Big bullet time. He's still got that strut, and he's strutting his stuff.
And this is a huge win. TS, it is only 2 minutes before our next objective on top side, so it looks like we're mostly fishing for summoner spells and ultimates. I was very worried because if we got an extended play, Poppy was already making their way back into the top side of the map. But all this has done is really kind of given away some summoner spells. My eyes now, no flash on Kael or Tarzan.
What I do want to highlight is the foreshadowing for how easy it is for JackeyLove to get an ulti this game. We saw it there. He only got to channel for just a little bit of time. The setup was a charm from Creme. And again, the power of setting up JackeyLove is not there. You have one person who can get locked down between cease and desist and charm and Poppy into a wall, but that's about it.
I mean, what you have to do is just hold your punches till the right time, right? You got to do the whole Legolas quote from Lord of the Rings, wait till you see the white of their eyes. Because there are a lot of tools to negate him in ways, but now trying to think about how these next fights come along. We have another minute and a half until the Dragon, another minute until the Rift Herald itself. And we have Ravenous Atacon on the table. Or Ruinous, sorry, not Ravenous.
Yeah, look, it's okay. We haven't seen it all that often, but thanks to
We've
the
been getting
changes,
a lot recently, though.
It does exist. We did check. The new patch has, in fact, added this buff to the game. So we'll see what that fight looks like. My eyes now, minute now from here is going to be 45 seconds until that Herald, and then a minute before the Dragon. That topside objective, I think TES need to be prioritizing this. You have 5 Grubs, split the game up, make sure that you're never getting into team fight positions that are going to be either in favor of AL or just set up the map to stack on them.
And despite we see 369 being 1 and 3, he's actually 500 gold up over Flandre, has a little bit of an XP gap as well, and with those 5 Grubs, with a potential Herald that we're talking about, you have the opportunity to push the lead more.
Tough.
A sealed goes out from Shanks, so that's going to be a big tool that is not available for this Herald fight if it does kick off Creme. Also not having Spear Rush, but getting a way better trade out of it in that one.
Cooldowns are also just way shorter for the Ahri as well, so when you're looking at some of these skirmishes later on, Creme probably going to be in the beneficiary of that spot where he can ulti sooner.
He already had Malignance. He already was level 11 when he popped it, so definitely going to be in their favor. But you see AL already in position. They also are placing down these Nidalee traps, which make it very difficult for TES to walk in. I'm going to want to see where Flandre is going to go, because he can continue to hit around on this bottom lane turret, but a teleport level 11 Wukong is going to be so dangerous for TES to deal with.
We talk about the Trinity Force spike. It's been hit for Flandre. Normally it's in the jungle, but this time it's top lane. AL starting off the Herald.
They want to go in. Kanavi tries to get in range, but can't do it. Nice little wall bang from Chris. There's a lot of damage coming down with the bullet time over top of it as well. JackeyLove picking them into pieces, trying to get a little bit on Hope's level, and that's going to be top esports moving in and moving out. Shanks trying to flash away there. And Flandre and Shanks, the only remaining members here for AL.
Shout out to Shanks, dude. He pressed E and he's like, I'm just running towards the Herald. I'm grabbing this Herald and then I'm gonna hopefully get out with my life. But that's the objective going over to AL. But now it's alone time for someone like Creme to hit on this top wave. It's going to be TES taking the second Dragon of the game, and they'll be able to also influx some gold into 369's back pocket.
It's an objective for a boatload of kills. Top esports, I think, with 5 Grubs are probably quite happy to take that trade. Obviously, not getting the Herald does suck a little for them. But what AL and 1 Grub are going to be able to get versus the amount of gold that Top Esports got off of that fight alone, definitely going to be much more favorable for Top coming into this game number 1 as, I mean, having been defeated twice by this organization this year already, starting game 1 out strong is a great way to set that precedent.
It's so crazy to think back of that track record over this year, but not only the big win moments for AL and trying to rekindle some of that. Now, they did lose the 1 game to them, so maybe giving them a little breathing room here, but turret finally goes down in bot lane as we'll take a look back at the replay.
So importantly, your ulti from Crisp goes wide, which would have ultimately made it so that they got less kills in the long run. JackeyLove, contrary to what I was saying before, got a good channel on his ulti, just was left alone. More than happy to go with that, and the key difference here is that Flandre didn't TP, 369 did. Flandre had push in bot side, decided to use that time to walk up, but the power of TP is that you can cheat tempo. 369 does exactly that, just teleports in, makes the impact that little bit sooner, forcing the flash out of Shanks as well.
I think the fact that Flandre eventually even uses his teleport, right? It's just like, okay, well, now we just have 369 who is still going to be able to get gold, and they still win out on that play. So I want to see how AL are going to be able to bounce back. They're a team that, like we said, is a bit squishier. Really, you only have that Leona to be able to have that front line. And TES have so many different ways of being able to get into your back line, disrupt how you want to be able to fight a front to back. So we need to see AL set up properly with Shanks and Tarzan as a duo and allow for someone like Flandre and Hope to really get some of the dirty work done in this game.
That's where I think the ease of execution does become a conversation for Top Esports. I mean, we've talked so much about both these teams and what they've been able to draft, like the different approaches they've been bringing to the table. But this is an ultimate best of 5 to decide if you're the champion in our first ever winter split in the LPL. And to see Top Esports giving themselves efficient picks is really nice to see as top lane turret goes down.
Now, worth remembering here, we have had AL take the feats of strength, so that first turret going down for Flandre found a little bit of an advantage for AL if we get to that hyper late game, and I think in particularly for Hope, who's got a little bit more disposable income the rest of the team, getting that Swift March online nice and early might be quite beneficial to go for. But overall, at the minute, we've got a nice gold lead for Top Esports, sequencing throughout all 4 of their carry roles. Talks about the fact that Kael's the only real frontline for AL. Same really to be said for Top Esports. It falls to their support, it falls to Crisp to try and act as that tank, because everybody else is going to be dealing damage, and when your damage dealers are further ahead, you feel very happy about your state in the game.
For my Jhin enthusiasts, how much are the Swift Marches going to matter when there's a Poppy and a Vi on top of you?
They matter, okay?
To...
They matter.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to do a temperature check here. Look, we've got still Ruinous Otacon available. Doesn't seem like either team is really going to be indexing towards it right now, but I do expect with the Dragon spawning in 2 minutes, if that is going to be an objective that TES are looking for, that a win there turns technically into 2 objectives if we are seeing AL spot up.
And I think that's important to distinctly remember the way that these teams kind of march into objectives, because we were talking about the kind of ease of execution for Top Esports, but when they get that chain CC nature for AL, it can be very, very strong. Both teams, though, right now feel very willing to kind of let this game sit. And how fitting is that for both these teams that we talk so much and so often about their team fighting skill in these kinds of stressful situations.
So setting up now for this Drake spawning in 1 minute 10 seconds. Both of these teams so far have just taken 1 apiece, so it's not high stakes Mountain Dragons just yet, but both teams definitely want to get the ball rolling on that sooner rather than later. Herald going down, getting a charge here. Might be difficult, might be possible, but Top Esports, 4 members strong.
Ready to go, Shelly! Let's go!
Man, still got the charge.
Shelly? Is it still called Shelly?
Yeah, you know, they didn't change. They didn't change the Grubs. They just added an entirely new beast to the Rift.
Can't change Shelly. Nobody can change Shelly.
Shelly just has kids now. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. And 6 of them. So
we're not going to talk about the beauty of the children. We're just gonna. They're
you don't like
babies,
Void Grubs?
They're,
it's okay.
They're
it's okay.
beautiful.
Neither does AL.
Children. True. At least they liked one. They liked one. We'll see how that trend continues and who likes whose babies. I don't know where that conversation continues.
Look,
to go. But we do have a dragon
say,
coming up.
Yeah, but I want to see how TES are going to continue to play this map, because right now, we're going to have to hold that as...
Oh my god, the double engage. They got the bullet time on top of it. Oh, nobody is stopping JackeyLove. That Solar Flare should have gone to stop the bullet time. Tarzan gets out with his golden self, but Kael will not. And now Shanks trying to flash away as well. That is another Top Esports team fight win.
And in these fights, JackeyLove is just left unchecked. Mid-tier 1 falls. Dash forward, Hope able to get away, but we're looking at the disruption that actually AL do have. Shanks has ulti, Flandre has ulti. Flandre, in fairness, was the target this time round.
Oh, he's opened it up? Okay, yeah. Here's some side steps up. He's like, I can't do that. I can't do that.
Nope. Illegal. This map is getting so much harder for AL to play right now. It's Tarzan and Shanks sitting around this pit, but very few ultimates. Maybe if Shanks makes a hero play.
Yeah, TP coming in. I mean, this is multi-TPs from both teams, though it's way too late to even secure the Dragon. Flandre just a little bit late to the fight. That'll be second Dragon to Top Esports.
This is such a tough map to play. Now that TS have gotten 5 of the Grubs, we're seeing it time and time again. TS deploy out into the side lanes, make sure that they're pushing, and then close in on the mid wave, close in on these objectives. We get to see the start of this. It was great, but I mean, look at how many tools are already not available. I mean, Kael's, there's no pressure onto JackeyLove this entire fight, and he's just able to let it rip with the bullet time.
And he's doing so well, just calling it early as well, but Atacon started.
We're just going to start this one up, see who's going to take it. If you watched the Mazel video or not, I don't think these guys have, as Kanavi's in there with it, and he's trying to get in for the smite rate. Beautiful bullet time! Oh my god! It's a triple kill for Mr. JackeyLove, and they're looking for even more. Creme goes down to a nice 4th shot from Hope, but the damage is done.
And it's fool me once, shame on me, but fooling me twice, 3 times? AL are just leaving JackeyLove to channel the bullet time. This is the 3rd time where Misfortune has left unopposed and able to rain hellfire down onto anyone's legend.
And we get to see that while AL did get the Otacon, all of those Blood Roses go over to TES, so they're getting more adaptive forces, more experience. I think the gold lead is going to continue to climb. It's going to be so difficult for AL to fight.
And let's look at the objectives that AL are getting a benefit from them with that Atacon. It's 1 Ocean Dragon and 1 Void Grub. The value of that Atacon is at an all-time low.
You're not wrong there, but it's also just that swing in momentum. We talked so heavily about Hope, that underrated star for anyone's legend. But there's a real star on the other side. JackeyLove is now sitting 5-0-4 on the Misfortune. If we take a look back, you again have to think, what would happen if somebody stopped him?
So when we get to see JackeyLove just open up like this, the observers know exactly what they're doing. Look at the pressure. My guy could have gone, got a cup of coffee, and come back to when the time this bullet time got cancelled.
Oh, man. And now Shanks has to use the ultimate. I think this just gets so tough to play now. As, again, TES, one of our best teams at being able to play the map. I think them and Weibo had a very strong grasp of how to play the macro. Maybe not so much with the Otacon, but that took everybody around the world a little bit to learn. So we'll give them a bit of space there.
And again, a reminder that we saw Flandre be this counter pick. The R5 was left to make sure that we could get this super prioritized pick to answer the Jayce and to destroy the team fights. But in this game, number one, was felt relatively muted, had a really solid laning phase, but since then, I've not seen Cyclone on JackeyLove at all. I've not really seen Flandre have that side lane impact either. And 369, whilst still 1-3 on the Jayce, is quite happy just farming his way up, providing poke before team fights, and keeping his team nice and safe.
And you have to think, as a fearless draft, like, these are picks you want to win with for anyone's legend, and the fact that you're losing with them is a little bit difficult in that regard. Top Esports, though, I mean, if this is true to their story, we have seen them build up over series, and now we're at their full force, and it's something to behold.
You can take a look at the playoff bracket. Again, it's just been all 5 games when you look at their 2 series in the upper bracket, and that's what we're expecting here. There are no strangers to adversity, even going up against their 2 prior series against Top Esports. Those were also games or series that went to 4, so we're expecting this to really kind of be an all-out, dragged-out fight between these 2 orgs, and hopefully we can kind of see AL fight back, because it's not looking great with a 4,000 gold deficit.
Okay, we'll see if they can actually collapse on a Creme here. Oh, the deathly flourish! As a Jhin fan, I'm just giddy right now. Creme is trying to get away, though. Nice little Spirit Rush. No Solar Flare. They don't really have the follow-through CC for anyone's legend anymore. TP came up towards topside, Top Esports. They're 5 men strong up here.
Yeah, so TP going through is an advantage for AL. A little pick there. They also burned Creme's flash. Now, when you're playing Ahri, you have ulti up every 60 seconds, so it's not that big a deal, but you know what to expect now. That's 5 minutes where there's no charm flash that can come through and catch you off guard. For AL, like you were saying, right, the idea that this is an organization as well that struggling a little bit in this game 1, but that has struggled in series before, 3-2 versus JDG, 3-1, several times up against Top Esports, but it's an organization as well that until this split had only lost to Top. Only lost between these 2 organizations until the beginning of these rosters.
Before this year, all-time record was TES 8-0 versus Anyone's Legend. And to be fair, Anyone's Legends have really tried to build that super roster this year, and now we're getting started around this dragon. This feels like the last moment for AL.
It does indeed. The lead getting ever so out of grasp now. Can they make a move? They get wall banged into the wall. Bullet time used preemptively. Now JackeyLove, he's pulling his trigger a little bit too early there. Flandre get a flash over the wall as his Cyclone goes through. The winds have dissipated, but AL, they have not shied away. This dragon just feels like a cliff's edge that AL do not want to be pushed off of.
But it's a win. They get bullet time down. They mean that JackeyLove won't be able to just tear apart a team fight. And that Drake, albeit, might go their way, but look what's happening mid lane.
They're not going to even get contest for it. It's just the mid-tier 2. Almost all of the summoners here from TES are gone. I feel like this is going to be a moment where we see the creativity of AL. How are they going to push the topic in the next 3 or 4 minutes? Maybe they try to force a Baron off of one of these plays if they can find a pick in the side lanes.
I mean, JackeyLove with 3 items is a scary beast. He just melts those turrets. Kanavi is just taking a turret with 369 on the top side as Shanks was soloing that dragon. AL just trying to pick up the pieces elsewhere on the map.
Yeah, and again, to talk about the trade that's just been taken, Top Esports once again going to be very happy. JackeyLove burns his cleanse, his flash, his ulti, and they still get 2 tier 2 turrets for it. That's a massive gold injection once again, and all they had to give up was a second dragon, a second one being first mountain. That's just a really big win for Top once again, and that gold lead continues to grow. We're at about 6k, and everywhere on the map is in the lead.
Two of the parts of these champions that I think is really interesting to see from TES is how they're able to utilize the amount of movement speed that is allotted to a Misfortune and an Ahri. Ahri with her W with that Spirit Fire, she can just run across the map at very little cost to herself, and the strut passive from JackeyLove just makes it so easy for TS to bounce in between these side lanes, move into the objective, and move into River. And I think AL are just struggling. You can see they cannot take this mid-tier 1 down for whatever they can do.
And talk about that ease. I mean, now you're on 3 items for Creme that you were just talking about, but also Kanavi has his 3rd item, and it's a GA. So the man can just throw himself at the prio targets and win the fight for his team and still have that second life. A lot going right for top esports. Some questions left to give for AL here, but there is the Baron on the table if they want to try to press over onto that. AL just struggling to find something. But I will say, out of everything, there is a 3rd item on the horizon for Shanks on the Yone. Does that make a difference?
Infinity Edge coming through is big if he can get access. So much of these team fights has been Shanks turning up to a fight and then just leaving.
All right, we'll see if that fight is going to be left or if it's going to be continued. TP coming in, that's going to be Flandre. Solar Flare is used, so that means Bullet Time is free reign right now if Top Esports want to take the fight. Some poke going on to Creme, about half health. Looks like Top Esports want to play very respectfully towards this fight.
And it's about those timers we talked about a few minutes ago. No flash, no cleanse on JackeyLove, and still no flash on Kanavi. So backline access is going to be at a premium here for TES. Can they find them? AL, they're going to start this Baron up. They're looking to turn.
They're doing this 5k down. This isn't easy for them. TP into the top lane for Creme, and you can tell they're sniffing. They're thinking, can we do this? Can we not? But it's slow.
This is tough. They're going to turn on to Creme. Creme is going to get away with the Spirit Rush, but can he get away? Totality. He does go golden, but I think it's just going to buy time for AL to kill him. Tarzan hits him, but now on the backside of the fight, Bullet Time going across. Kael getting low, but Tarzan is right there with them. And Top Esports, they're looking to clean house right now. I got to call the main service. Top Esports have found hope. They're on the back line. Shanks is going down to Flandre. The last gasp effort taken by the star himself, JackeyLove.
And there we go. That 5k gold lead stays for TES. And honestly, I'm going to give a salute to Creme. That might have looked questionable, but he let his team win that fight. All of the buttons are gone from AL. There's no way for them to turn onto JackeyLove. So the rest of Top Esports just let it rip. Now they get the Baron for themselves as well. And it just seems like all of this game 1 is TES favored.
So Creme absorbs so much hit, Alk. You point out perfectly that he gets ulti from Flandre, ulti from Shanks, and then AL are caught between, hold on, we still have to contest this Baron, but we've given up all of this space. And then they try to retake it in the face of a Misfortune who just cuts off the choke brilliantly. Crisp again, not quite finding the purchase with that Keeper's Verdict, but it's a constant give and take that AL are always losing out on. Kanavi finds hope with the ulti. It's an immediate flash from 369 to take the damage, and he will once again happily sacrifice his life to get rid of the Jhin. Hope on this carry who's been so allotted gold in the early game that now he's struggling.
What a time to be alive, to watch these two go at it. I know coming into the series, I was super hyped about this bot lane matchup and see what it could kind of lean out towards, what kind of performance we're going to get from these two guys, because track record-wise, I mean, they've both been on aces so far, but the fact that we get this JackeyLove Misfortune pick in game number 1 that's paying dividends like this, when you think of the draft value this has in the next coming games as well against this AL team, it is massive. And now Top Esports is looking to take more side lane turrets, more gold, and extend this lead over 10,000.
And I wanted to talk about some of those item spikes we were talking or looking towards. Hope has now finished the 4 items on this Jhin. They were still waiting for Shanks to get that Infinity Edge, but I'm looking at JackeyLove, Guardian Angel. So it just means it's going to need an additional step from AL if they want to take him down. And we've been talking a lot about JackeyLove, but look at his teammates right now. I mean, Kanavi has to have a burner of a Vi game.
He truly has, and he's been setting up for so much success on the team. I think Kanavi has really come into his own on Top Esports. I know you talked a lot about kind of his new legacy he's been trying to carve on Top Esports. It hasn't been the prettiest, but hey, if you come away with the title, that's all that matters. He goes onto the back line, he finds access on a Hope, and he goes down with that GA. Now Top Esports looking under turret. They're going a little bit ham with this one. They do find a couple kills there and looking for the turret too. They'll find the inhib, but they've lost Kanavi and Chris. They've lost their setup, but maybe all they need is damage.
It's not pretty, but it's effective. Mazel, they managed to find their way into the inhibitor, take down bot, take down mid, and they get a couple of kills to boot. They'll quite happily take that. JackeyLove still has double sums. Baron wears out in 50 seconds, but this is a success for top esports.
Okay, they're going to try to slow him down. Oh, no. They have the curtain call open, but I don't know if it matters. 369 takes down Shanks, and now JackeyLove's streaming forward here. Deadly Flourish goes as they do get the CC chain from Creme. He's trying to kill a Hope, but he can't do it. Now the Baron minions are doing the work. They're on the Nexus turret. Top esports, they want this game #1 in style as they try to take Kael now in the front line of things. As 369 is here with his tanky self. That might be all they can get.
The Captain Jack cleanse coming out from Hope. I might even have to hold this as they're trying to make this base defense from AL. It'll be an influx of gold, but if he doesn't land that cleanse, I think that completely opens up the game for TES. I thought maybe they'd be able to escape. They even got the teleport out from 369. It's minor wins, but 11,000 gold down seems like it's going to continue to be tough as we get a replay of Kanavi pushing out AL from this massive bullet time.
So rough.
Sending it, for lack of a better word. This guy went past everybody on his team and the enemy team to try and take down Hope. Wasn't successful, but it's about the space and the time that he buys. It opens up that second inhibitor. And now for top, the game plays itself. You've got super minions pushing mid, you've got super minions pushing bot lane. You go 5 members strong into that top side. At some point, super minions will end the game. And with the amount of dive that they've got, the power of this Poppy as well, they could probably just steamroll AL under this turret.
There ain't no scaling to be found. There ain't enough time in the world for AL at this point. And what a massive statement for a game #1 from top esports. Not only did they get counterpicked in that top side, but they made it work altogether. Now Solar Flare down. I mean, that's all the hope that you could ask for AL. Gone and out of the way as top esports looking for another inhib turret here. This would make 3.
I think TES have, like we were saying, just put all 5 of the members. You have Void Grubs, so why not just go for it? I was worried because they hadn't been pushing. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Flandre. He's almost taking down another bullet time. Claims his life there. As Shanks looking for the big fate seal. Gets 2. There's the engage from Kael, but they fast forward of the fight goes straight top esports' way as they just went straight to the back line and straight to everybody's hearts on AL as game 1 is going to go the way of top esports.
A killer fight for top and a killer game #1, starting out putting the doubters to rest. Yes, we've lost 2 series to this team previously, but we're here to party in the grand finals.
What a way to be. I can't believe they have already set the tempo of this game, the chaos that there was in just game 1 of this best of 5. I do believe that our desk is going to be ready and willing to take over and talk about that game. So let's go ahead and send it over to Rafa in the game.